All right, we're live. Okay. Well, thank you guys for coming to Raise the Bar's new member hangout. I really appreciate it. Um, I think what we're just going to do is go around and introduce ourselves, and then after that, we'll talk about why we're here and what we hope to get out of this and that kind of thing. And then I'm happy to answer your questions. I don't think needs to be too terribly long. Honestly, the technical piece of just getting onto the Google Hangout is like maybe 40% of my goal here because that ends up being a challenge when we do the structured presentations. But of course, I want to answer your questions too. So if we could just go around and introduce ourselves and say your name and where you're at and and what camp you're from, and then we'll go around a couple other times doing other small little prompts. So Nate, if you don't mind, I'm going to start with you. Your name, where you're at, and what in the country, and then what camp you're from.
Sounds good. I'm from the University of Utah. My name is Nate Friedman.
Wait, hold
So
on, Nate. So you're so there's two. You have like a very soft mic, and then you have a loud mic, and I'm not sure which one.
let me try something. Hang on just a moment.
That's good. I like that.
Can you hear me okay?
Well, no, not really.
All right. I might have some mic issues. I can
Okay,
hear
so
you
why
fine.
don't we come back to you and you just work out your mic issues and take as long as you need. All right, so Derek, your name and where you're at and what your affiliation with the Scouts.
Okay. I'm Derek Fortin, and I'm from Burnet, Texas. And I was with the Boy Scouts for 42 years professionally and have now retired. And I've been involved in camping for over 50 years and operating camps throughout the U.S., Hawaii, Guam, American Samoa, those type of places.
All right, Hannah, and why don't you introduce yourself and your team?
I'm Hannah, and I have Megan and John Luke with me. And we are Camp Corral based out of Raleigh, North Carolina, but we host camps across the country for children of military families.
All right, great. I'm sorry. So you're gonna have to tell me your colleagues' names again. Hannah,
Megan and
Megan,
John Luke.
and John Luke. Like that? John Luke. Okay, great. Um, and Nate, what do you think? We ready to go?
I'm sure you're getting the same thing. I'm trying to fix it. I've got a new computer set up here. I'm actually working on it.
All right.
So,
Well, maybe we can hear you very faintly. I'm not sure if there's I'm not sure where your mic is. It's
about this one here, I have a feeling this is the one that's not picking it up.
ah,
Uh,
well, maybe that's it. But I did hear you said something about the Utah. Maybe you can get that out. All right. All right, so maybe we've lost Nate. My name is Matt Smith. I have a camp in Pennsylvania, a very small leadership camp for teens. It's the family business. It's called Longacre Camp. We had last year we had 119 kids total over the course of 3 sessions. Um, we have 2 sessions that are a leadership camp for teens, and then those are 3-week sessions, and then a 10-day session for mini campers, a mini camp for children and tweens. Um, I guess what I want to know now, Hannah, is what's your job at Camp Corral? What do you do there? And why is it that you guys were interested in joining Raise the Bar?
So my position is I'm the director of program management for Camp Corral, and I'm basically as boots on the ground as we get because we work with established host camps to facilitate our program. And we were interested in getting started in Raise the Bar. We saw the presentation at ACA, and we've been doing some data collection and going through the struggle of trying to do data collection, especially around military families, because veteran families are about in the same boat as camps, and there's very little, if any, research out there on them.
Okay, so will you explain the structure to me? So do you identify as an agency camp or a nonprofit camp? What's the structure like?
We're a nonprofit and we basically function as a user group. So at its bare roots, we provide the campers and the camp provides the session and the site program and the staff.
I see. So, okay, so you contract or with other, hold on one sec. I'm just going to mute Nate there while he's working his stuff out. So you contract with other camps and then you place kids in their camps?
Kind of, yes. We contract with other camps, but we do an exclusive session. So
Oh,
a kind of exclusive, like they'll have maybe a horse camp week that's in at the same time or day camp going on at the same time, but the majority of the kids are our campers.
I see. So you have campers and you take your campers to other camps and it's your staff and your program and you run your stuff just using their facilities. So you like rent it out.
Kind of, but it's all their program and their staff.
Oh, their staff. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm really dense. I'm just okay. Okay, got it. And it's a fee for service or it's all privately funded?
It's all free for any camper who's accepted.
Okay, so you guys have private donors or foundations or?
Our founding sponsor is actually Golden Corral Restaurants, so
Oh, wow.
the majority of our funding comes through them.
Oh.
And we have a partnership now with a well-known veterans organization and the rest of it is private foundations and grants. Correct? Okay.
Very cool. Okay, great. Derek or Nate, I'm gonna, now that you're settled down here, I'm going to unmute you. Hold on. Derek or do you guys have any questions for them?
Not offhand yet.
Nate, I don't know what happened here. Okay, I think you're good. Nate, you there? Nate, I think you're good. Can you hear me? Nate, you cannot hear me. Hannah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You can see that why the technical aspect of the Hangout is or the new member Hangout is one of the things that I like to do.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Great. Derek, so you said you retired from the Boy Scouts. Then what is it? What is your role then now?
Yeah, currently my role mainly is for the American Camp Association as a visitor.
Okay.
And in the Hill Country area, I've been in contact with other camps here that are not accredited or ACA members, and I'm kind of mentoring and helping them as requests. So I've met with 3 specific camps in the last 2 years as they've been developing their program, staffing, and risk management.
All right. And what is your interest in outcomes? Why is it that you were interested in Raise the Bar?
Originally, because looking at what outcomes are, even before I retired, we were trying to develop strategies and plans so that every activity or program that we put on, or individual part of a camp had a purpose and had some desired outcomes that we would like to measure.
Okay. And you guys have outcomes measurement already set up, and you're looking for help, or you're looking for help getting that set up?
In the past, we of course just doing it ourselves, almost like in an Excel written type format. But as of now, the only relationship would be probably with other camps that are looking for resources that are not necessarily ACA member camps.
Wait, say that again?
I say what I'm doing now, working with some of these other camps that aren't ACA members, that they may be interested in some of these resources.
Right. Okay. Right. Great. I see. So I see what you're saying. That makes sense. All right. Well, Hannah, what are do you guys have immediate needs? You guys said you've been doing a little bit of outcomes measurement in the past. Do you have plans for this summer?
That's what we're trying to figure out right now. We haven't put together our camper survey yet. Last year was the first year we did a camper survey. And then we had 3,200 paper surveys that we had to process. So now we have a grad student who is working on her thesis using and processing that data for us. So we're trying to right now figure out how we're going to collect camper data this summer, A, what we're going to collect it on, and B, how we're going to do it and not sit there for hours entering camper data.
Right, right. That's a great one. And so what is your instrument? What tool are you guys using?
We do a SurveyMonkey tool that was made in-house, a combination of Y resources and some resources from the UNC School of Social Work here in North Carolina.
Okay.
For military families, and then our summer tool for the kids was a paper survey that we compiled through a lot of research of our own. It doesn't have we haven't been able to test it really to make sure that we're getting accurate data.
Right, right.
It's kind of oh crap, summer starts next week and we need to have something to survey our campers.
Yeah, yeah. I know the feeling. So what are the outcomes that you're measuring?
Our biggest outcome that we look for is connection, especially for this population.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, so it sounds like you guys are, although it may not feel like it, it sounds like you guys are pretty far along in the process. And I'm wondering if you have specific questions that I can help you with. Not now because I'm not an expert, but I could maybe connect you with folks who could. Okay, good. Hey, Nate. Who I could connect you with folks who could help you. What are your primary concerns as it pertains to the summer?
Part of our big conundrum is finding people to help us analyze the data. We do have a kind of on-staff PhD student who is studying military families and how our camping experience pertains to them.
Yeah.
But really finding some other outlets, some other academic outlets that are looking for that kind of data, so we can get somebody else to help us work on analyzing and figuring out who is our family.
Right. Okay. What if
15.
what if you is there anything specific? I mean, all you care about is connection. The fact that they're military families, there may be other interests, other research interests. But if you're talking about connection, let's say I had a tool that could, measure connection, but it wasn't specifically for military families. It's for any kids. And for example, that was done online such that all you had to do was put the data into a system and it would shoot out analysis for you. Is that something you guys would be interested in?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I think at your scale, again, I have to reiterate that I'm not an expert, I'm just a guy in Pennsylvania, but at your scale, it seems like you guys it's a lot of work when there are people who are much smarter than us and like live in this world who have developed software such that they have the instrument is reliable and it's valid, and you just somehow get the questions in front of the kids, whether it be an iPad or a piece of paper, and then the work is really just transferring the answers to the software, and the software does all the specialized work for you. That exists, and I think that would be an option for you. It sounds like it might save you a lot of work.
Yeah, that's the main reason we decided to join Raise the Bar, was try to find some of those connections out there
Right.
that we can tap into for those resources.
Right. Okay. Okay. Very cool. Yeah, that makes sense. And Derek, how can we help you? It sounds like you're still on the fence about whether this even really makes sense for you. And it sounds like your ties to the Boy Scouts, you've retired. You've used that word. And is there anything that specifically that you want from Raise the Bar, a way that we can help you?
Truthfully, not that I can think of. I think when I was more actively involved in camping, we're always looking at ways to improve the program.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to help other local camps in my area by being a resource to them.
Well,
So,
and I think I appreciate that, and I think that if there are connections that you have with former colleagues or something like that, and you wanted to direct them our way, we would really appreciate it. If they need help with measuring outcomes and are struggling with that, I mean, that's really why we're here, is to because everybody has a little bit to learn and a little bit to teach. And we're also connected with the research community. If there was more that the Scouts wanted to do, of course we could do that. Now, so it's also occurred to me that because of your career in the Scouts, that maybe there's we should be actively working you to try to connect with people in the Scouts who could give us, who could sort of commit a larger division of the Boy Scouts, if that makes sense.
right. Mm-hmm. So, and probably, like, as the current listing is Boy Scouts America, that's probably wouldn't be appropriate for me to use now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
All
if
right, well,
I can be associated for a while, we'll see how it goes as a member or resource or whatever term we want to use. But I am not currently actively directing or involving or managing, administrating any camp or camp operations, helping on some, but not in the leadership role.
I understand. Well, you're welcome to stick around for as long as you'd like, and if the community practice seems like something that's interesting to you, even if you're not actively involved in camps, I mean, we'd love to have you. There's really no reason for us to give you the boot. I think it's really up to you.
I did have a question for Nate that I sent over to him, asking if the National or the Nonprofit Leadership Alliance was part of his program at the university.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Sorry, I'm on a new computer. I'm working directly from a Surface tablet, which runs my monitors and everything. And it's the first week, and I'm still trying to figure everything out. So
no, you're crystal clear right now. This is great.
Great. I just jumped onto the tablet instead, and it seems to be working. So, Derek, the Nonprofit Alliance is not part of our program. The Nonprofit Academy is part of the University of Utah Continuing Education Department, which I am also a part of. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but I'm familiar with those types of programs in the Salt Lake area.
Yeah, the Nonprofit Leadership Alliance is nationally, and basically for those that graduate through the program become certified nonprofit professionals, and that's their emphasis. But I know I was at a conference with them in January with about 45 universities and college represented. But the other part that other people may find as we're looking for resources, the Nonprofit Leadership Alliance educational programs at 45 universities. They're looking for summer employment, internships, and graduation opportunities for the students. So for resources for camps that are looking for summer.
Okay, well that's a valuable resource. I'll look into them because we're always looking for staff. That sounds great.
Nate, you're a professor or an administrator?
I'm an administrator, so I run the youth ed department. Within that, we offer over 150 or 200 classes or camps, depends on how you want to define them. We do have summer day camp, as I mentioned in the text. I don't know how many people saw that, but we have a summer day camp called the Club U Camps. We have 150 students for 11 sessions throughout the summer, and it's a traditional summer day camp. We also have residential programs that we're starting for high school students, and there'll be 1 or 2 week sessions with experiences with other departments on campus, whether that's engineering or architecture, game design, etc. So there'll be residential camps, but they're very academic focused.
And that'll be run through your department.
It will be, yeah.
That is very exciting.
It is very cool. We're really excited about research opportunities, being that we're at a level 1 research institution. We really have to prove ourselves a lot in what we do. The good news is we have a lot of resources around us to help. So.
Well, that's great. Okay, and so what is there outcomes measurement already going on for some of these programs, or just like feedback surveys, that kind of thing?
A little of both. The feedback surveys we do just kind of guide our day-to-day, and then we do have outcome measurements that we try to accomplish. We do currently, we have the ability to track our students from our programs to the University of Utah. So if they had a contact with us, we can track whether they became a matriculated student, what their major was, etc. So that's one thing we do now, which is pretty cool.
It's very cool.
But we need, it kind of shows that we may or may not have had an impact in that decision-making process. So what we're trying to do is fill in the gap a little bit and say, like, have follow-up between now and then to say, this is why we had an impact. Students are doing better in school. It raised their GPA. It raised their social skills. We're trying to, right now, determine how to do that. So I thought my involvement in this group can help answer some of those questions or get other people involved who might want to help with that kind of research. I wasn't really sure, but I thought it was a good place to start.
Yeah, this is great. Well, this is very exciting. I think that we're still trying to develop the mechanism for exactly how to make connections happen. We were envisioning a kind of dating site where researchers would talk about sort of what they wanted, and camps would, or what they're interested in, and camps would talk about what they wanted, and then you could sort of like date each other. So we still don't have that mechanism right now. It's just like people making introductions. So it's informal and flawed in that way. But you know, it's the nature of a community of practice. The people I've talked to who have done this before have just told me, like, chill out, like, it's totally fine. It's an organic process, and just nurture the process and don't worry about like achievement or something like that. As long as you're sort of listening to people and doing what they want, then you're going to be fine. So where I did worry about it for the first year or so, and I now have sort of settled down and be like, okay, we're going to be okay.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, so then I think what I'm going to do, Hannah, is follow up with you individually and talk about, just make sure I understand what you're looking for, and then try to connect you with some folks who can maybe advise you a little bit on how to get started. And Nate, there's a lot going on with what you're doing, and I guess I'll follow up with you as well, and see if I can connect you. Sort of same thing with Hannah.
Okay.
Derek, it sounds to me like you don't have any specific needs, so there's no specific question I don't hear you asking, which means that you can just hang out and attend any events you want. Is that right?
That sounds good for right now. Do you have any Raise the Bar camps in the Texas area?
That's a great question. I'll send you the map. We have a map of all of our all of the Raise the Bar camps, and the one I do know about is Steve Baskin's Camp Champions, and is in Austin.
Yeah, actually, he's about 11 miles from my home.
So. Oh, okay. My Texas geography is not very good, so that's great.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But there may be others. I just don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
Before I let you guys go, what questions do you have about how the thing works, or what you do, or are there any procedural questions that I can answer for you? Come on, there's got to be something.
I mean, this is my first interaction. I talked to Lori Brown. Matt, I think you know, she's a friend of mine out at Chico State in California, and she, I kind of touched bases with her on what this group's about and how it works. But I think you saying, I mean, how do we get involved? How do we stay in touch? What are the meetings like? I guess all those questions.
Yeah, right. So I think that it is what you make of it. You sort of get out what you put in, and if you are in the people who are getting the most out of it, I think are most involved. The structured presentations you can attend if they're interesting to you. There's a Getting Off the Ground mini series. Our first group launch has their first meeting tomorrow. That's sort of designed to take people through their first year of measuring outcomes, from the very beginning of like, why do I want to do this and what obstacles do I face, all the way to sort of how do I take the analysis that I've received in the winter and apply it to my program. So you can do that, and you can also we have a sort of a list of priorities that we've developed, and we're only really constrained by volunteer time. So if you have any interest in helping us actually run the initiative, jump in. We're getting onto, we just opened a Slack account, and so we're on Slack and trying to learn how to pass information. Lots that we want to do that we can't because there's only a few of us who are doing creative stuff. But whatever you want, just ask for. If there's something that you want, I mean, you sort of throw it out into the ether, and we'll try to help connect you. If the thing that would be a shame is if there was something that you wanted and you didn't speak up, or didn't feel like there was a forum for you to share that, and then felt disenfranchised or something like that.
Okay, and this is probably a little bit on me because I haven't looked into the program enough. But is the group is run? I don't remember. Was it a Google group, or is there a web page, or what's the kind of main meeting area?
Yeah, we have a website. It's acaraisethebar.com, and all the stuff is on there. And the Hangouts are the sort of most common way that we interact.
Okay.
I've tried to get everybody on. I think Slack would be the coolest thing if we could. But I think it's just hard to get people to adopt stuff, and we have found that we're sort of evolving slowly, or maturing slowly rather. So Slack may be a couple years away.
Okay.
Hannah, any questions?
Nope. I think we've looked at the website and the Facebook group and stuff, and all of your emails have answered the vast majority of our questions so far.
Okay, great. Well, I really appreciate your time. We made it to a half an hour, so I'm going to let you guys go. I will follow up, Hannah and Nate, with you guys directly, and then we'll take it from there. And whenever you have questions, concerns, or anything, by all means, please reach out to me or Ariella. Okay?
Sounds great.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks. Sorry about the technical difficulties.
No, don't worry about it. That's why we do it.
Have a good one, guys.
See you guys.